Today we're doing another OSYAM model video, and it's gonna be kind of like a part 2 to the episode where I talk about what to wear to castings. Today what I want to talk about is what you can expect at castings. Okay, number 1. The first one we're going to talk about is the standard casting. Essentially what a standard casting looks like when you go there is, once you see the sheet or the post or whatever time tells you to come to the casting, you go to the casting, you meet with whoever's checking people in, you sign your name in. Before you know it, it's your turn in line. And you go into the room with whoever is the casting director or whoever is the client or whatever. Those people will be in a room. You'll be there with them by yourself. Sometimes you'll be there with a group of like 4 or 5 people, maybe even more. But a lot of times it's usually just you and those people, and they will very standardly ask you what your name is. They will look at your portfolio, so always bring your portfolio with you. They'll ask you a few questions, a few generic simple questions. They may take measurements. They may have you try stuff on there. And then most of the times they'll ask you for your comp card. You'll leave that with them, and that's how they will contact your agency again if they don't have your stuff already written down. Pretty much you go home and you just wait until you hear something. Just try to put out your mind, and if you hear that phone call back from your agent saying they are interested, then woohoo. So depending on what it is, usually standard castings don't have too many callbacks, but a lot of castings do. So you may have gone there one day, met with the people, they liked you, yada yada yada, and then maybe 3 or 4 or even the next day later they'll say, can we have her come back to try on our clothing, talk to her a little bit more, you know, just further get to know you and see if you're a good candidate for the job. That's a callback. After that, it's kind of the same scenario. You just go back home and you just wait to hear something again. And if you get booked, then whoop-de-doo, you get booked. But sometimes you are put on hold. And on hold means kind of what it sounds like. They aren't sure if they want to use you yet, or they may be weighing between 2 people, or I don't know what the reasons change, but it just means they're still deliberating if they want to use you for sure. And if you don't have to be on hold and you just get that phone call saying you are booked for the job, well then, congratulations, you have yourself another modeling gig. Okay, number 2. This type of casting is one of the more fun ones. So these are scenario/commercial castings. So I use these both interchangeably because a lot of times when you go to a commercial casting, they give you a scenario and they kind of make you act. Alright, so I'll share one with you that was actually really fun. So I went to a casting for a Bear commercial, the paint brand Bear. They had a group of us come in, I think it was about 5 of us or 4 in my group, and we stood in a row, shoulder to shoulder, and we had to pretend that we were painting and having conversation with our friends, just a nice summer day, out painting the walls, cracking jokes, having fun. It's one of those things where it's kind of uncomfortable because there's not a wall that you can like physically act like you're painting on without or a paintbrush. I was just kind of like, yeah, this is fun. Good thing I'm tall and I can reach all of this. So I was just trying to have as much fun with it as possible. But sometimes they'll make you sing a song or dance or tell a joke. They throw a quick scenario at you. They want to see if you can perform this task that they're probably going to have you do or something similar in the commercial that you're casted for. I actually like going to these castings because, everyone's kind of in there. It's a little bit awkward and everyone's just kind of dropping their guard and not being so uptight and afraid to, have a little fun. And similar to the first one, it happens kind of the same way. You wait to hear something back. You may have a call back. You may be booked or casted right away. But it varies between, job to job. Numero 3 is fitness castings. Woo! They kind of run along the lines of scenario casting. However, you have to do exercises when you go to those. I've seen so many people come to a fitness casting, they're wearing normal clothing, like they're just dressed like this, and they're just like, oh, I had to wear fitness clothes? I didn't know I had to do stuff. you need to come in the proper attire. They usually say what they want you to wear, what they want you to look like, so you can look as close to the role as the commercial is going to be. I went to a casting for Puma, I think, right? So I went there, I signed in, and they asked you, how many miles a week do you run? What other fitness activities do you do? Blah, 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 blah. So they ask you supplemental questions as well so they can see what type of athleticism you are. They ask you how much you work out a week. You know, simple basic questions like that. So they can know what you can actually do if they cast you. They don't want someone who says they're fit but only does one type of fitness that usually shows up very superficially and results in a very winded and tired person on the day of the shoot. So they try to be thorough about what they ask you. And what I like about the fitness castings is that you see a little bit more diversity of people. Sometimes they want an older person who is fit. And I don't mean like ripped old man, like sexy Santa. Have you guys seen that meme? I love doing fitness modeling because it's a little less restrictive on what you can look like. So after they have you work out and do the little exercises and see if you're capable, it's very much like the other castings. You wait, maybe you'll get a call back, maybe not, maybe you'll get casted. Number 4 is also going to be a two-parter, kind of like number 2. And we're going to talk about the runway castings and open call castings. So runway castings, again, are a whole nother animal. Most of the runway castings I've been to have been open calls. So open calls mean anyone who wants to come to this casting can come. Obviously, there's some kind of limitation, but most of the time you see all types of people. Depending on where you are, say like out here in California, some runway castings are a little bit more lenient on who they cast. Say out in, you know, Paris, they're going to be a lot more strict on the type of girl they want. A lot of times that's not very good for diverse people as far as race, hair, bodies, literally anything you can think about. But how runway castings and other open call castings work is, like I said, designers or the organization who is going to be putting on the runway show, they'll put out open call, this date, this time, bring heels, dress simple, lottie-dottie-dottie. Let me explain to you how LA Fashion Week works. Not all runway castings are this way. There are runway castings that function more as a standard casting where not everyone's going to be invited. So at LA Fashion Week, what you do is you come to the venue that they're going to have people walk. There's a long table of designers just waiting in a giant auditorium. They bring out 4 or 5 models at a time. And think, you guys, where you are, you're the models. I mean, you're the designers. So you guys are sitting at a table, and this is me, the model. I'm walking, and I'm coming back, and I'm walking again, and then I come back. And then I go and grab my comp cards, and I walk down the table, and whoever's interested will take a comp card from you. It doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes the literal designer will invite or contact an agency, have models come to their design house or their studio, whatever, have them be fitted, have them walk in front of them, take their measurements, and if they like you, they'll cast you in your show. All right, so number 5 and the very last but not least, I'm going to talk about the self-taped casting. So I just did this for the first time about 3 or 4 days ago. And essentially what it is it is a casting that saves you a whole lot of time and you don't have to drive. So I sent in a self-tape casting for a fitness watch company. And essentially what they do is send you that casting sheet where they explain what they're looking for, what they want you to wear, what they may ask of you, and then they send you a more detailed list of what specifically they want you to do in a video that you'll record of yourself and send to that person, whoever the casting director is. So with this stuff, it's really important to have good lighting, someone who can actually hold the camera steady, just a decent video. It doesn't have to be professional. It can literally be taken off of your phone. Just make sure it's not like you're recording with a Razr cell phone in a dark cave somewhere. But you just have to be very you in those videos because you're not seeing the person in person the very first time you connect with that person. So you just have to be very much like you, like I'm being here, just talking and being straight up about who you are and the things that they want you to do in the video. and everything works out kind of like all the other castings. You send in your audition, hopefully hear something back, and if they like you and they ask you to call back, they want you to come in person that time. And then they'll have fittings maybe another time, and then you'll be booked for the job officially, and you will be able to go and shoot that wherever. So I personally like it because where I live, from where most of the castings happen, is a bit of a drive, and it just saves me a lot of time. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this list of 5 different types of castings and what you can expect at those castings. The quality of the video kind of changed because my other camera died, but I wanted to make sure I came back and signed off on this video and just, you know, say thank you for watching my videos and thank you for subscribing to those who have subscribed. So, if you have any comments, please leave them down below. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And also, share some different things on what you can expect at a casting if you have gone to some, and just your experiences. I would love to read it and, you know, relate to other models out there, because that's kind of hard sometimes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!